welcome back to the Aussie Picture Show, coming to you from the Roxy Theatre at Film Australia. This year, in the lead up to Australia Day, we're celebrating 80 years of Film Australia productions. Shortly, our major film for tonight, the telefeature A Good Thing Going. But before that, an example of some of the official work Film Australia has made over the years as the government film unit. Back in 1955, the powers that be decided it was time to record a day in the life of the national broadcaster, the ABC. The result was, This Is the ABC. By today's standard, it's a little quaint. It captures a very well-behaved ABC, full of stiff upper lip accents, that reminds us just how many things about Australia have changed. Made the year before television was introduced, the film also marks the end of the era when radio was king as the centre of home entertainment.
Australia presents...
This is the ABC.
A production by the Film Division, Department of the Interior, for the Australian Broadcasting Commission.
Lights. Action. Photography, Frank Bagnall. Sound, Alan Anderson, RCA Sound Equipment. Music, John Antill. Editing, Anne Gurr. Production, Madeline Williams. Direction, Shan Benson. And compared by me. Hello, everyone. My name is Rupert Chance, and I'm your compere. I'm not usually up this hour of the morning, but I've been asked to show you through this film, and this seems a good place to start. It's the newsroom of the ABC. The early morning staff are coming on to make up the news. There's a sub-editor over there. That teleprinter's been banging out cables and telegrams all night long. Wonderful, isn't it? But it's not all as simple as that.
ABC Newsroom. It is. What happened? Nothing. Oh, well, thanks.
That reporter's checking with police, airways, shipping, weather bureau, and so on. Other reporters are covering all sorts of work in the field.
Calling all cars and stations.
Why do ships have to keep you waiting out in the cold?
Thinking of that nice warm bed you had to leave, Marianne?
Oh, hello, Rupert.
I'm sorry we can't wait with you. But it's time for the news.
This is the ABC broadcasting through national, regional and shortwave stations. This is the news read by Paul McClure. And now the headlines. At the United Nations yesterday, the President said that troop movements were no danger to world peace. The World Heavyweight title bout at the Yankee Stadium in New York ended with a knockout in the 8th round.
That mutt couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag.
In Paris yesterday, a man accused of beating his wife said that she'd kept him poor for 30 years. Wake up and listen.
The time is now 7 minutes past 8. I beg your pardon. The time is now 8 minutes past 7.
The time is now 28 minutes to 8.
Today is warm and cloudy. A low-pressure area centred over the south coast will probably bring rain, but not before tonight. Cooler winds and scattered showers are expected on the tablelands. Seas smooth.
You know, the ABC has an awful lot of listeners, even me. Australia's a big place with 9 million people. And the ABC and the PMG's department, who handles all the technical services, you have to keep them in mind. So, to begin with, there are 12 metropolitan transmitters. Always a surprise when these film tricks work.
Now that I am in your arms at last.
Just hold it for a second, would you? Going on that last line, just a little less, and a little more, and just a shade more quietly.
There seems to be something going on, ladies and gentlemen, that's not in the score. Now. Okay, that's fine. Next.
The ABC presents Blue Hills by Gwen Noble. Hilda and Joe have settled down on the MacArthur's farm, and we left Joe helping Judy in the kitchen. He's handling the dishes with the confidence, but certainly not the skill of a juggler, and Judy says in alarm,
Oh, Joe, the new dinner set. Now, careful, you'll drop those plates.
Oh, no, they'll be right. Look, I can... Oh, gee.
Oh, whatever will Hilda say? For my glory. Oh, Joe, I told you to be careful with Hilda's new dinner set. Now look what you've done.
Yes, that's Blue Hills. But it isn't the whole story of the country hour. For instance, there are talks about practically everything that can interest the man on the land.
A pedigree goat is a valuable animal. It needs care. We'll discuss the details of feeding later. But just now, I shall begin by emphasizing the fact that a goat will not eat anything. It has to be provided with the best food, if you're to get the best result.
Oh, there's Bruce Weber. Hello, Bruce.
Hello, Rupert. You coming in to see the sporting program?
Yes, I'd like to very much, thanks.
Come on, then.
Hello, John.
Hello, Rupert. How are you?
Sport's mainly an organizing problem, you know. Getting a dozen different programs from 6 states and then putting them all in together. This afternoon, there's Melbourne and Sydney races, cricket, and the tennis.
Race almost over, Bruce.
Good.
Flying Halo is battling out on the outside of Titanic finish. They couldn't pick it over. Flying Halo, all rising fast. Nobody but the judge can pick it. This will be a photo, yes. It's a photo finish. The judge has gone for a photo to decide the winner up to St. George.
We'll let you have the result of that photo finish from the studio. Whilst we're waiting on the result of that photo finish, let's hear further descriptions of the international tennis.
Radio Australia, if you'd like to join us, your listeners will be interested in these descriptions.
Hode serving now to Satius. Forehand return. Hode volley. Satius. Oh, and a brilliant stroke. Making the score 30-40 in the first game of the second set. Hode is taking his time as he crosses the court for his next service. It's a real summer's day. Everyone, spectators included, is feeling the heat.
They're right for us at Randwick.
The barrier's down, and we cross now to Randwick.
Number racing. Number first out with Blue.
Today's competition. He's been diving splendidly this season, going out in front to a clear-cut win in what looks like very good time.
Steadily along over this part of the course. They've got a long way to go in the Bowls Championship, and on today's form should have a good
Fly. Bert Guck and...
So that's one coming out. The racing goes on to win it well.
The ABC presents the Sporting Roundup. Here first are the results of today's city races. The maiden plate over 6 furlongs, first Dashing Knight, 50-1, 12 pounds 7 and 6, 2 pounds 6 and 9.
The Sydney Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Eugene Goossens.
We still have to be very careful about this clarinet entry here after letter K because the program's on interstate relay.
Oh, that'll be okay, John. For Melbourne and Adelaide, it'll be minus 45 dB.
To send music from Sydney around Australia means work for a lot of people you seldom see. In the control room, everything is ready. Musicians are in their places.
Set enough atmosphere for you. Stand by.
Is there a musician in the house?
Oh, what kind of anguish.
Right, well rendered, thank you, everybody.
Well, that's all for now. So until tomorrow, I'll say good night, everyone.
Good night, Arthur.
Cheerio, Rupert. See you tomorrow.
Yes. Well, that's the end of one day of the ABC and the start of another. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I must say it's been very pleasant showing you around. Now I shall have to say thank you for coming and goodbye, because this is the end.